So, is it that time in your life yet? Do you feel like your family is complete and you and your spouse want to not worry about changing that? Well, the decision can be difficult, but the recovery doesn't have to be. After your vasectomy, you gotta get testes. Doctors usually recommend a jockstrap and ice for your boys to help with comfort. Well, testes is the best of both worlds. This is for the man who is out on the go and needs to get things done. You get the ice packs from the freezer, strap up, and saddle up. The packs give you at least 20 minutes of comfort, even if you're just sitting around watching the game. And most important, guys, no wet spots. Put on the jockstrap under your briefs and go about your day. They come in 3 sizes, medium, large, and extra large to get your right fit. Now head on over to testes.com. That's TEST-EEZE.com. TEST-EEZE.com. Your wife is going to thank you for the snip, and your testes are going to be thanking me. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee. This is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, Patreon, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, wherever, guys. While you're there, go and rate, review, subscribe, then head on over to the Facebook group and Twitter account and join in the discussion. Don't forget dayspringdiscussion@gmail.com in case you have any more lengthy comments or questions. And you can find me personally, SlimDayspring12, on Twitter and Instagram. Well, hello everyone. Hope you are enjoying your weekend. It is Sunday afternoon here in Austin, Texas. Quite enjoyable. And of course, it's a great day because today we have football. That's right, the football season is now in full swing. Yesterday, I came home and watched my Fighting Irish take on Toledo, I believe it was. It was a close one, a little too close for my comfort, to say the least, but they pulled that off. And then today I sat down and watched the Indianapolis Colts play a little bit of their game. Still not happy with the results, but you know what? It's the beginning of the season. We'll see where it all goes, but football's back. I'm happy about it. Hopefully you're happy about it, and we'll go from there. All right, so guys, so if you are new to the podcast or show, here's how it goes. So throughout the week, I and everyone else post stories on the Facebook group and Twitter account, stuff that happens, stuff that comes up, stuff they want to talk about it, and we discuss stuff there. Then, when I have time, I come on here, run through about 2 or 3 topics of the week, got a little more in depth in them, and of course, you guys continue to fire back your comments, discussions. We have a nice little banter back and forth, hopefully, is what happens, positively and nicely for the most part, hopefully. But that's how it goes. And like I said, you can always head on over to the Facebook group or Twitter account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. That's what it's all there for, and that's what we're here for, guys. So, starting off, housekeeping. Obviously, if you listen to my show on a regular basis, I did not do one last week. Holiday weekend, got caught up a little bit doing stuff. You know, I do this as a hobby. I enjoy doing it in my spare time, but sometimes I don't have spare time, so I have to skip a week or so. It's been good, though. An extended side, like Sunday afternoons to do it, I think is probably the best time to do it. I feel like I've got most consistent time to do it. I keep saying do it, but that's what it comes out to. But like I said, it was a holiday weekend. Stuff came up. It's just how it was, guys. But, you know, and the thing that sucks is usually when that happens too is because something comes out that I want to talk about a lot too. Like, you know, Shang-Chi came out last week, but I didn't get a chance all weekend to come in here and share my thoughts on it. And I will shortly here. But a few other things I want to run down first before we do that, guys. So let's get going. All right, starting off before I get to the main topics, I like to start with something I call What's Got My Attention. This is usually something I'm reading, something I'm watching that I've kind of become invested in. that maybe you guys haven't seen or read and want you to know about. Starting off, I just finished a couple days ago the newest book in the Star Wars High Republic series, Out of the Shadows by Justina Ireland. Now, this is the YA novel, the second one. In the waves that they've come through the second wave, I believe. Now, not the second phase, but second wave. In each wave, they have an adult book, a young adult book, and a middle reader. And then the cool thing is, of course, is it's becoming so intertwined. If you're a big Star Wars fan, especially if you enjoy the whole Jedi aspect of Star Wars, I cannot recommend the High Republic enough. The more books I read, because I've been reading all the books up to this point, I become highly invested in them. You get to know the characters. The first two books or so, 2 or 3 books, you're meeting all the characters, so it's a little more intense. But in this second wave, you knew more of the characters, especially in this book. I knew most of the characters already, so to expand on a little bit more, to expand on the story, to expand on the era, just gets better and better with every book, to be honest. And it really does pay off to read every book. I will say you don't have to. You definitely do not have to read every book. But, if you want to read just the adult books, that's fine. Or if you're just the middle reader books or whatever, that's fine too. Especially, I'm also reading the comic books, the Marvel comic or the IDW Adventures comic. I'm reading that. Try to keep up on all of it. We got the Tempest Runner just came out. I'm going to try to jump on that here soon. But love the High Republic. If you're a Star Wars fan, or a big Star Wars fan at least, I recommend checking those out, guys. But what I'm watching right now was something I've just finished. I'm always looking for stuff that me and my wife could watch together. There's a lot of stuff that I enjoy that she does not, and I like spending time with her. Especially one of my favorite things is to sit down and watch TV together. Just something that we both like, something we both enjoy, that we can talk about. Common interest, I guess, is what you can say. And a little while ago, we found a show. It was on Peacock. Came from the Sci-Fi Network, called Resident Alien. Now, this stars Alan Tudyk, most known to a lot of us geeks as being Wash on the show Firefly. He also voiced K2SO in Star Wars Rogue One. Great actor, enjoy everything he does. And he's got the show Resident Alien on Sci-Fi Network. The first season popped up on Peacock. I started watching it. By episode 2, my wife was sitting down and watching with me. She got into it, so it's a show that we both enjoyed. Just finished season 1, which is 10 episodes, and it's really, a quirky little sci-fi comedy that we found pretty cute, to be honest. Like I said, Alan Tudyk is a great actor. Anything he does, what he does is great, so I would recommend that. The main girl in Asta, she's pretty hot, as well as the mayor's wife, I think is pretty hot. But that's neither here nor there. It's a cute little show, guys. If you want to check it out, like I said, the first season is on Peacock, or you can watch it on Sci-Fi. I know they're working on season 2 right now, and I'm anxious to see when it comes out, mainly because, like I said, it's something that both me and my wife enjoy, so it's always good to have something that we can enjoy together. So, Resident Alien, check it out, guys. Let me know what you think. Okay, well, let's jump into the main topics for today. I'm going to start off with Star Trek Day. The sci-fi event was this last week. September 8th, 1966 was the day the original Star Trek series premiered. I believe it was on NBC where it premiered, with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and the whole cast there too. With Star Trek, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I've said before, my dad, I consider him a Trekkie. Growing up, he watched all the shows, and I remember, in the living room, in the house, occasionally popping in and out of a series. My favorite one probably being Generations, Star Trek Generations, which is probably a lot of people's favorite. I've seen the most episodes of that. The other ones I haven't seen a lot of episodes, but I have seen all the movies. And, the more recent ones with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto are the ones I prefer. I'm not going to lie. A lot of hardcore old school Star Trek fans do not enjoy those ones, but I enjoy those ones. And also the comic book series by Mike Johnson. I believe IDW has been publishing those the last couple of years. That's actually pretty good too. It goes in continuity with the Kelvin timeline and those Chris Pine films. Really cool too. So again, I think I'm probably more of a fan of the Kelvin stuff than I am actual Star Trek, but I've been trying to check it out recently. I've watched Star Trek Discovery, or at least tried to. I watched all of season one. Or no, excuse me, I watched the first half, season one of Star Trek Discovery, and I really couldn't get into it. I tried, couldn't. It's okay. I gave it a fair shake. But I did get interested when they were bringing in Christopher Pike into it and the crew of the Enterprise in season two. So I jumped back in because I knew they were going to do the spin-off, Strange New Worlds. I found it very interesting because when I went back, there was the first original pilot of Star Trek where it wasn't Captain Kirk, it was Captain Pike. And you can find that on Netflix. And they're taking that original crew that wasn't used, that didn't work for the network, and updating them and giving them their own show. Pretty much the show they should have had 55 years ago, but didn't. So that's, find it interesting with that. But anyway, I watch Lower Decks as well, too, just for the comedic aspect of it. But again, there's not a lot of Star Trek that I do enjoy. Anyway, Star Trek Day had a lot of news come out, a lot of things come out, and I just want to run through them briefly. So starting off, while I am on the subject, we got more information about the upcoming Strange New Worlds. With that, we got to meet more of the cast and more of the characters, and we come to learn we're going to meet a very young Lieutenant Uhura in this series. Their uniforms are a little more different than those that they were in Discovery. The three that you saw in Star Trek Discovery, they're going to be in there. It's going to be about the Enterprise. And this one I'm probably a little more excited about. That's probably, like I said, the idea was interesting to me when they introduced it on Star Trek Discovery. So that's why I watched the second season of Discovery. And, I'm going to check this out because I do like the character of Christopher Pike and this original Enterprise crew, especially after I watched that original pilot of the Star Trek series. I found it more interesting. So I'm going to check that out. And I find it interesting that they're going to bring in a young Uhura. Not sure how some other Star Trek fans feel about that, but we'll see how it goes, guys. So that's coming out. I don't think they gave a date yet of when that is coming out. But we did get something else, some news. The season 2 Picard trailer came out as well during that panel. Star Trek Picard is one of those shows that, in a sense, I enjoyed that first season, but I don't think there should have been a second season. And I'm going spoilers here for you when it comes to Star Trek Picard. So if you haven't finished season 1 of Picard, fast forward, pause, whatever. I'm going to spoil a few things. So at the end of it, basically we learn, I think it's halfway through the season, that Picard has some kind of disease and he was dying. And he was going on one last mission to save, essentially, his friend's daughter. And at the end of the season, instead of dying, he got his consciousness transferred into an android body that looks exactly like him. And his body is still going to age, from what they said. Basically a cop-out. If Picard was like this mini-series about one last crusade of the great Jean-Luc Picard, and then met his final fate at the end of it, I think it would have been really, really epic. But instead, they want to make new content, more content, so they want to continue it. Which, from a production and studio standpoint, I understand. From a story standpoint, I think it would have been a lot better if they just would have focused on that one last story of Picard and kind of ended it there. The miniseries is what I felt like it should have been. So they released the season 2 trailer of the series, and looks like we're doing some time traveling. We got Q in there. Honestly, I'm not super excited about it. I'm debating on whether I'm actually going to watch it or not, just because I was, like I said, disappointed about how season 1 ended. There are a couple of the characters, though, that I really do enjoy. The captain, Jonathan Jackson Miller, just came out with a book about him. I found him probably be the most interesting character. And, of course, Patrick Stewart as Picard. You got to love him no matter what he does. I don't know. Like I said, I think I might check it out, but I don't see myself sticking with it. Again, just the whole now I'm an android side part doesn't really work for me. If it works for you, that's great, but it doesn't work for me. So season 2 Picard trailer's out. Check it out. See what you think. And then kind of the final thing as far as Star Trek Day that we got was an official trailer for the upcoming animated series Star Trek Prodigy. It's going to be on Paramount Plus. I sat down this morning with my 8-year-old daughter and made her watch it and asked her, does this look interesting? And she's like, kind of, just to see, what she thought, because we watched Bob's Burgers together. We've sat down a couple times and she'd watch Lower Decks with me. And she's kind of into it at first, but then she hasn't watched it in a while with me, so she's kind of out of it. But this is more geared toward, I think, her age range. So I, had her sit down and watch it. And she said she was kind of into it, but not a lot. I don't see myself watching this unless she wants to watch it with me. Much like how, like I said, I like to watch stuff with my wife. I enjoy the same thing with my daughter. If there's a show we can both sit down and watch, like Bob's Burgers, for instance, if we can sit down and something we can enjoy together, I'm into that. So Prodigy, maybe, like I said, I'll have her sit down, watch episode 1 with me, see what she thinks, and we'll go from there. So that's Star Trek Day, guys. Did you have anything that you watched that you really liked or, didn't like? Let me know what you think about any of the things that I have talked about, and live long and prosper on that note. So let's move on from there. Moving on to topic number 2. Well, finally got it, guys. The first official trailer for Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrection. Resurrection? What is it? Resurrections with an S on the end, yes. Popped up this week, and Keanu Reeves is back as Neo. We got Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity. Morpheus is back, but it's not Mr. Fishburne anymore. It's Black Manta himself. I'm not going to say his name because there's no way I can even try to say his name on that one. Jada Pinkett Smith is supposed to come back as Niobe, although I didn't see her in the trailer. But anyway, The Matrix, of course, is a trilogy that, let's be honest, went on a downhill slope. The first one was very revolutionary, mind-blowing to some people. I remember seeing it in theaters. I thought it was pretty cool. When I look at the trilogy as a whole, like especially those last 2 films, Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolution, I kind of feel the same way I do about the Pirates of the Caribbean films. The second Pirates movie and the third Pirates movie, I like the second film, but it was such a connection to the third one that you kind of don't get your complete story. You can enjoy the first film on its own, that's fine, but the second and third films kind of come together as one, so it's, you really can't like the second one too much without having to continue the story in the third, and that's kind of what happened with me as far as The Matrix. I liked the second film, but the third one was such, a letdown in the ending of the story that it kind of tainted the second film, in my opinion. But you know what? People still have the first film, and to be honest, I don't mind The Matrix, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So when they announced they were coming out with another Matrix film, I wasn't really excited about it, to say the least. But now this has come out, and I have seen this trailer. Looks like we got Neo back in the Matrix. Doesn't remember who he is, but he's in there for some reason. He's taking some pills, probably to help him forget. Trinity's in there. They don't recognize each other. Eventually, I'm sure they will. And of course, people are trying to get to Neo to make him remember who he is. We got some weird stuff going on. We got Jessica Henwick from Game of Thrones and Iron Fist, who I really like her as an actress. I think she was the highlight of the Marvel's Netflix Iron Fist series, actually. I really like her. Christina Ricci is going to be in this. I didn't see her in the trailer, but she's going to be in it. Of course, we did see Neil Patrick Harris in the trailer as Neo's therapist. I'm so used to seeing Neil Patrick Harris as comedy, especially from How I Met Your Mother, that when he's sitting there trying to be serious, it just didn't seem a little right to me. It's just me personally, but he's still a fine actor. I'm sure he'll do a great job with it. But the trailer, to be honest, it was okay. It didn't really do anything for me, mainly because I'm not that excited for this film. I think this is just another film that's coming out that is trying to capitalize on its previous success. I mean, Resurrection, it's in it, right? They're trying to resurrect this franchise. Warner Brothers is trying to resurrect a franchise that was really popular 20 years ago, cash in on it, to say the least, to try to get themselves more franchises for their studio that they can continue to make lots and lots of money from, especially since they have the Wizarding World franchise, which looks like it's sputtering out ever since the last Harry Potter film came out. Everybody wants franchises. Every studio wants franchises because those are easier to sell and make more money than just, your run-of-the-mill original films is what it comes down to. And that's why this film is coming out, directed by one half of the Wachowski siblings, I guess I'd call them. Well, not to get into it, but when the original Matrix films came out, they were the Wachowski brothers. Then they were Wachowski siblings. Now they're the Wachowski sisters. Anyway, it didn't do anything for me. Not gonna lie, it did not do anything for me, and I know it's just a lot to do with how I feel about the Matrix franchise as a whole. It's never been my cup of tea, to be honest. Never could quite do it. And also, where's the black leather? Where's the Trinity and Neo kicking ass? I mean, it's 20 years later, and I know these, Keanu Reeves is 50-something years old right now. Carrie Ann Moss, I'm sure, isn't too far away from that. They can't kick ass anymore. I mean, they can, but not like they did 20 years ago, is what it comes down to. And it's just not as cool and stylistic as it was. Keanu Reeves, I'm sorry, with the long hair, I'm calling him John Wick. You want to give him his short hair back? I'll call him Neo. But you leave him in that long hair, I'm sorry. He's still just John Wick in the Matrix to me. So what did this trailer do for you guys? Fire back, of course, in the comments. Let me know. Are you a fan of the Matrix? Do you really think this film is going to resurrect the franchise? Are you excited about it? Fire back, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, Facebook group, and of course, Twitter. Alright guys, my last topic for today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, but it's going to be a little bit of a twist. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because here we go. The newest Marvel film, Shang-Chi, came out last weekend, and really, let's be honest, it really was the newest start for the MCU in theaters after Endgame. I mean, we had Black Widow, but that was, like I said, more of a prequel where it was a known character that takes place before Infinity War, so it really wasn't part of the new era. We had Spider-Man Far From Home, but that really didn't fit into really any of the big picture stuff in regards to the Marvel Universe. It seems so separate in my eyes. This was the first Marvel film since Endgame back in 2019, was it? That was a completely new character and was post-Endgame. Not a lot of people know who Shang-Chi is. All we know is it's a new start for the Marvel Universe. You got the Eternals coming up as well pretty soon. And then you have other characters down the road. This is a complete fresh start. Post-Endgame, it's Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios almost starting from scratch. The only advantage they have right now is that they have the good name of Marvel Studios to help bring people into the theaters. People expect a certain style and a certain level of quality when it comes to Marvel. In the last, 10 years or so, they've gained the reputation of walking into a Marvel film, you're at least going to like it or enjoy yourself or have a good time with it. They've got that going for them. I will definitely give them that. So walking into Shang-Chi, people who knew nothing about the character, no idea what it was, didn't know what to expect. People like my wife, no idea what this was. She was very iffy on the trailer, but she walked out saying she really enjoyed the film. I really enjoyed the film as well. There were parts of it that I think were a little too much. The ending, spoiler with the dragons, I think was maybe a little too much, but I did enjoy the film. I think it's a great first start to what is to come. The mid-credit scene and post-credit scene still have a lot of questions with that. I thought, what's the main character's, Simu Liu, again, did a great job with him. I thought he did some great martial arts in this film, especially considering I just watched Snake Eyes, and that was a piece of dog shit, along with the fighting they tried to do in that film. It had some great characters in it. His dad was really good. His sister was really good. It was, again, overall an enjoyable film, and I really liked it. So I went through and decided to place it on my MCU ranking list. If you are friends with me on Facebook, you can go to my profile, About Me, and Details. And on there, I have my favorite franchise rankings. Let me say it again. Favorite franchise rankings in regards to Star Wars, DCEU, MCU, and X-Men. And I kind of have everything ranked as far as how I like it. And, every once in a while I'll change it and I'll say when I updated it, etc., etc. So like I said, I really did enjoy the film. So when I was looking at my ranking, I went and I put it at number 14. Now, in my MCU ranking, I'm not only including the movies, I'm including the Disney Plus series as well, which we have 3 right now. There's Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision, and you have What If. I might or might not include What If because it's really not part of the, canon, perhaps. We'll see if I include it. But anyway, there's now 28 things that I can rank in the MCU franchise rankings. So number 14 kind of puts it right in the middle. And when I said that, some of my friends attacked me saying, number 14, are you crazy? It was amazing. Oh my gosh. One of my friends, Mike, even said that it was a top 5 MCU film. To that, I laughed. Not because the film itself was bad. Remember, I enjoyed this film. I'm saying, look at the quality, going back to the quality of films we've gotten from Marvel. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this film was a good movie, but there are so many other better Marvel films. Marvel has a reputation of having good films, enjoyable films, that yes, as far as it got on my list, was number 14, because I think there's so much more better films. And I'm going to run through them. Just real quick, I want to run through you, starting at number 14, and I want you to tell me which one of these films you believe is lesser than what Shang-Chi was. So number 13 I have on my list, Ant-Man. Now, I enjoyed Ant-Man for what it was. If you want to tell me that Shang-Chi was better, I will not argue with you on that one. There's 2 of these, I think, 2, maybe 3, I could probably argue that are not as good as Shang-Chi. But for my personally, I enjoyed the comedy of Paul Rudd and everything that was included in Ant-Man. And that's really what it comes down to, right? The characters. I'm a big Captain America guy, a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan of those films. So lo and behold, all the Captain America films are, in my top 10 to 12, as well as, the Guardians of the Galaxy is in my top 5. So I'm a fan of those because I gravitate towards those characters. So I enjoyed the character of Scott Lang more than I enjoyed the character of Shang-Chi, which is why I enjoyed Ant-Man more than Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Just how it breaks down. So, but I can argue, quality-wise, I'll give you that. Number 12, Black Panther. Okay, you're going to tell me Chadwick Boseman and the Oscar-nominated film was better than Shang-Chi? I don't think you could, no, don't do that. You can't do that, okay? Number 11, Spider-Man Homecoming. Again, it comes down to the character of Shang-Chi versus the character of Spider-Man to me. And Peter Parker, I think, is a much more enjoyable character, or at least relatable character in my eyes, from my perspective, than what Shang-Chi is. There's a reason I never got into Shang-Chi comics, and it's not because he's a horrible character. He's a fine character, and there are, people out there that relate to the character, that love the character, and I'm not knocking on it at all. If Shang-Chi is in your top 5, that's great. I celebrate that. But he's not in my top 5 because, again, I find more characters relatable and enjoyable than Shang-Chi. So Spider-Man Homecoming, number 11. Number 10, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Really what this comes down to for me, again, goes back to my enjoyment of Captain America and the MCU. And, when they were coming out with the Disney Plus shows, this was the one I was most looking forward to, again, because it has the most feel of Captain America to it, very connected to it. So that's why I enjoyed it so much. And that could be one that, if you want to say Shang-Chi was better, I could I'll say yes, that is right. I would say that you're correct on that. For me personally, it is not. Number 9, the original Avengers film. Need I say more? Number 8, Iron Man. People say Shang-Chi is the best Marvel origin or MCU origin story. You know what? I love Captain America, the First Avenger. I love Thor, which is number 7 on my list. So But number 8, that original Iron Man, the kickoff to the MCU, still takes the cake. Still the best origin out of any of them, I think, in the MCU. Number 7, like I said, Thor, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, the greater grand scheme of the cosmic MCU universe, directed by the great Kenneth Branagh. Love that movie. Great movie. Number 6, Captain America, the First Avenger. Again, I'm a Captain America guy. I love it. Love it. Number 5, The Avengers Endgame. Most of this film, I will say, is the culmination of everything that came before it. The reason I and probably others enjoy that film so much is because what it came from, what all the other films built to this one film, the way it ended, it was very bookend and kind of put almost like a period at the end of the MCU saga, so to speak. I always say, if you watch them in chronological order, you start off with Captain America, the First Avenger, basically with, Peggy and Steve. And then you go all the way to Avengers Endgame, and that last scene is Peggy and Steve. So like I said, it's very bookend, very one complete story. And that complete story consisting of 20 plus films is great. And of course, you know what? If you're going to tell me there's a greater moment than Captain America getting that hammer, you're crazy. You're crazy to me, okay? Captain America Civil War, again, Captain America guy. Love that film. Love the dynamic of all the characters. Really enjoyable for me. You want to say Shang-Chi's better? Sure, in your personal opinion, fine. But no way it touches Civil War. No way for me. Nope. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. The biggest surprise, I think, for anyone. When we saw the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy, my wife said she didn't want to go see it. She's like, do we have to go see that? And I'm like, yes, we do. And we went and saw it. And she loved it. So, poo on you for that one. Number 2, Captain America Winter Soldier. I don't need to say anything there. Don't need to say anything there. And then number 1, Avengers Infinity War, a film filled with so much emotion. Again, the build-up from 20 plus films, what it does for the characters, what it does for the MCU, how it ends. It's just, honestly, it packs an emotional wallop from the beginning to the end of the film. And it's my favorite of the MCU films. So yes, Shang-Chi, a film I enjoyed very much, is at number 14 on my MCU list. This is my own personal list. If you want to make your own list, I can sit and argue with you about your list, but I won't say you're right or wrong. We all have our own, likes and dislikes based off our personalities and life events and blah, 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 blah. So you want to go through those 13. I'll give you 2 or 3 of them as far as, better films or lesser films, than what Shang-Chi is. But there's no way Shang-Chi gets into the top 10 as far as MCU. Cannot do it. Nope. I will not say that at all. So, but I want to debate with you. This is why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to defend myself and be like, you guys are wrong. Quit picking on me. That's not what I want. What I want is for people to hear this, jump online and debate the films with me. I want a discussion. I want to discuss this stuff. Please, somebody talk about it with me because I love talking about it. That's why I do this, okay? That's what it's all about. So, that's what it is, guys. Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. I enjoyed the film, but it's still number 14 on my MCU list. Please tell me where it falls on your list or send me your own MCU list because I love to talk about it. I want to see everybody's MCU list. Anybody who commented about complaining about my list, I want to see your list and we can talk about it then, guys. So, but that is it. I know I rambled a little bit on that one, got on my soapbox maybe a little bit, but I was just going to talk about Shang-Chi, but when everyone started attacking me for where it fell on my MCU list, I was like, I got a different angle to play on this one. So that's what I did, guys. But that's it for me today, of course. Always fire back on the Facebook group, Twitter account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Any stories, memes, whatever you want to post on there. I usually have to approve them just to make sure they work. But let's have some fun with it. Let's discuss some stuff, and we'll go from there. So, like I said, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy your week. Next week, what do we got? I don't know. What do we got? I feel like there's something coming out next weekend or something I can talk about next weekend, but I can't remember what it is. Oh well, we'll figure it out then, guys. But that's going to be it for me today. As always, remember you can find me, Slim Dayspring 12, on Twitter and Instagram. Go out, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives. And until next time, may the force be with us all.